Karen, are you at home? We got a pizza for you. Lady Lily back with another video, and this is the Housewives of Potomac, Season 3, Episode 17. We are almost at the end of the season, so yeah, we're almost there. So the show starts out with Giselle meeting up with Kyle for brunch. Giselle says she met Kyle actually through her ex-husband, and they have been friends for about 20 years now. She was pretty much recapping the friends trip, and she was telling Kyle that Karen does not live in her Great Falls home, and she needs to find out pretty much what the truth is. Ashley is at home unpacking, and she said when she returned that Michael did not give her the greeting in the capacity she thought she would receive. She said there is, no pitter patter of little feet roaming around her house as because there are no children. And she said that her home is not as warm and loving as the other ladies' other ladies' homes. So Ashley had called her mother, let her know she was, that she had returned. Ashley's mother was happy to hear from her, and she wanted to hear about, all the good things that happened, on the trip. Apparently, Ashley's mother has not dropped the boyfriend, so she's still with the boyfriend, but she has officially moved out of the hotel, and she has moved into her own home that she has attained on her own. She has attained with her own efforts, not the assistance of Ashley and Michael. Karen is meeting up with Matt. She wants to address the conversation that came up on the trip. She said that Ray's been working a lot trying to rectify the tax situation, so he hasn't been around as much. She's saying she just feels like the girls are not, very supportive with what she's going through during this time of her life, but that can be also due to the fact that she's not being too much revealing of what is actually going on in her life at the moment. Karen confronts Matt about what Ashley said about her not living in her Great Falls home. Matt said that all he ever said was when he first met Karen that she was living in Ray's townhome, which Karen said was true. And Karen's like, well, that is true, but that was like 24, 25 years ago. However, Bravo, with their messy self, did a flashback that shows Matt saying he only have known Karen for 12 years. Question mark. Something doesn't add up. So, yeah. Moving right along. Candace's sister comes to visit her, and they go, discuss, what happened on the trip and the friendships and all that. Crystal apparently is Candace's baby sister, and she is a result from her mom and stepdad marriage. So Candace has, I guess she was the, child from the first marriage, and her sister Crystal is the child from the second marriage. Candace and Crystal are exploring having a storefront to expand their hair. They figured if they have a a brick and mortar store, that will allow people to invest and purchase more hair and wigs, because they can actually try them on and feel the merchandise and see how it actually looks besides just ordering online. So they FaceTime mom, and, mom is joking around with them, she asked Crystal, how is her wedding going? And Crystal's looking crazy. Then Candace's like, oh, she said, Candace, how is the wedding planning going for you? And she has this, it's crazy, obnoxious laugh that was somewhat, irritating to me. So Crystal and Candace want to move forward with the brick and mortar store, but they want to do it without mom support. Candace is really on a mission to be more independent, to be 100% independent, because she's getting ready to take on a role as wife and stepmom for now. So she really wants to be able to stand on her own 2 feet and do things and accomplish her business by her own efforts. So she really wants mom to pull back. And mom is like, well, I don't know. But they were saying they can consider her more, her mom said, well, maybe I can be just a manager or a supervisor. But they really want mom to pull way back and be more of a consultant on moving, consultant with them on moving forward with the business. And surprisingly, mom actually agrees. Robin is working on her latest flip property. They show her earlier in the episode signing the paperwork, and she got the keys, and the home is now hers to work on and flip. So she is with her real estate mentor. They're going through and assessing the property to see what all needs to be done. They're trying to break down walls, and they want to add another bathroom, and they want to add another bedroom. And she invites the girls over to help her break down the wall. So Giselle was the first to arrive, and she's like, "Are you serious?" She was saying WTF, and she was like, wowzers, she was like, please tell me you didn't actually pay for this. And then Giselle said, well, I kind of got it for free, but if you paid attention in the episode, it said that she paid $28,000 for the property, which is cheap for a house, but that was really a dump site house. Ashley arrives, and she doesn't have on the proper footwear. So the girls go to help break down the wall, and they show them just breaking it down. I mean, the wall ain't really making too many moves. They just putting a couple of holes in it. And they were saying, this is very reputed. And then Giselle was like, take this, Sherman. And she said apparently Sherman had asked her to return the tickets that he had got for them to go see Jay-Z. I'm like, damn, okay, for real? But yeah, and then Ashley's just thinking about like all her stuff. And then they she hits the wall, and then Robin hits the wall, and then they say, you know what, let's just leave this out to the professionals. So they go outside, they take a drink, and they're discussing Karen and her behavior and her life situations. Giselle said, let's roll up to her house and see if she really, lives there. We can do, we can do singing grams, we can be a delivery service, but they're going to move forward and try to check out and roll up on Karen's house. And they hope and pray that she has a sense of humor. Monique and Chris are sitting outdoors by the outdoors, and they're sitting by the fire. They having wine, and they're smoking cigars, and Chris is enjoying a little foot rub from Monique, and he said he was looking really forward to this because he pretty much had a bad day. It was a long day, it was a bad day with practice because he coaches football. They discuss, Chris pretty much asks Monique, when is she going to have another baby? And she's saying, timing is going to be everything because we really don't want to try to have a baby, do football season. But as we all know in real life right now, in real time, Monique is, she is a few months pregnant. I don't know when her due date is, but she is pregnant. Monique said she admits that she was so focused on her business ventures that she did avoid her feelings towards the miscarriage. But now she's at a point she wants to make time and put the focus back on her family a little bit. Chris said, he didn't understand, that he figured they usually, they have fought in the past, but they were quick to, try to work things out and move forward. And it just wasn't like them this time to not rectify their situation. Monique says she needs to recognize when something is bothering Chris, not just look at, she needs to look at the big picture, not just simply focus on her feelings, but she needs to know and she needs to be concerned when things are bothering Chris. Chris said he needs to prompt the brakes and not blow up and be irrational so quickly. So that's them trying to, mend things and come together for the good. Monique said she felt like the trip was very good, and that, the girls are trying to rebuild and restore, friendships and relationships. So Chris said he had to excuse himself to go to the bathroom, but he came back with a cake and a gift because him and Monique was not able to properly celebrate it prior to her departure on the trip. Karen is at home. She's setting her table. I thought she was getting ready to meet some people or had somebody coming over for lunch or something. But she was setting up her table. She was saying Ashley is pretty much, jealous of her. And she said, when I give you my truth, you just need to accept it. She said her life is fabulous and people need to just get over it. I didn't understand the nature of that scene at all, because I'm thinking she's setting the table to get ready for somebody to come over, or do she normally just set the table weekly? I have no idea, but it was what it was. Ashley is going to visit her mom in her new home. She brings flowers, they order food, they're having wine, and they're just having a good time. Mom wants to know how was the trip, tell her all the good stuff. Ashley was talking about exploring the oils and the oil she made, but unfortunately she forgot it, the sights, the sounds of France. Ashley also mentioned that, her and Michael has been bickering back and forth for about 6 months about the notion of having kids. She said Michael feels, he has reconsidered having kids because he's afraid that she's going to come irresponsible like her mother. Ashley mom was furious, and you could tell. Ashley mom had a decent wig on too, by the way. But Ashley mom was not happy. She said she is all up in her head. She said at least she has a relationship with her kids and that her kids don't curse her out every other day. So that made me think, like, are you saying that Michael really don't have a relationship with his kids? Because you don't really hear them talk about his adult kids. You haven't really seen them. The most they had talked about that he had grown kids in season 1. That was pretty much it. But you haven't heard anything about them. So I took that comment that her mom made as to, like, somewhat maybe Michael don't have a relationship with the kids. I could be wrong. Ashley said Ashley mama said she raised her kids as a single parent. She was, life was not easy, but she did the best she could at that time. Ashley mom said when she met Michael, he was saying how she was such a nice lady and she did a good job raising Ashley. But now all of a sudden the tables have turned. She also goes on to say that Michael is just worried about Ashley physique and he just want her to stay sexy and just parade her around town, as just his arm candy. And the no kids thing is really an excuse because you knew she was young, you knew she didn't have any kids. And that's another thing when you have to consider when you are, when you're a younger woman who doesn't have kids and you start dating older men who have had adult children, you got to be upfront and honest about the intentions of the kids. And if there's no compromise, there's no compromise. There's no, we'll just see what happens. If I got pregnant, we'll work it out. No. Those type of conversations need to be, talked about up front. Ashley was telling her mom, about the conversation she had in a previous episode with her uncle and how her uncle was just saying, he just wants you as a trophy wife. And mom says she agreed. It's not too far from what she feel. And then Ashley was like, what's the Ashley mom was like, what is the likelihood that you are going to have a child at this point with him? Ashley still, the truth is Ashley want kids, bottom line. So there's just no way around it. I don't care how she try to wait and drag her feet. She still wants kids. Ashley said, Ashley mom said, how long, Ashley said, how long is she going to wait on the possibility and teeter on a maybe? How long? She kept saying that. Ashley mom said, you're going to sacrifice, all the love you can give to a baby. Ashley said it bothered her that Michael married her for her looks and just to parade her around town. So, I mean, she still got more to think about. So, Karen, Monique, and Candace, they meet up for the annual Harvest Festival. Karen said, hanging with Candace and Monique is a breath of fresh air. And, even though she feel like Candace may need to grow up a little bit, she feels like when she get with them two, she has a good time. Monique is trying to get back into the swing of things. She said apparently her baby girl is sick, and Big Chris done got sick since she been back, but the little boy has been fine. Candace is saying she's realizing that she can't get everything she exactly want for this wedding, so she's just trying to find a happy medium. Candace said her goal is really to become more independent and away from her mom's, hand. Monique was asking, how's the relationship with you and Chris going? Because she said, it tends to be so much focus on the wedding. What are you doing as a couple to make sure you are, good? And she said she really need to make sure that she's focusing on the relationship, because as you know, a wedding is just simply one day. Monique and Karen said that that Candace and Chris need to do more couple things. And even Candace is saying Chris wants to do more couple things, because they all been about just business in this wedding, and that can be unhealthy. Ashley and Robin are meeting up at Giselle's to prep for their visit to Karen's house. Giselle has gotten a pizza to help aid in their visit. The girls are showing their various disguise, and the decision is going to be that Robin will go and deliver a pizza, and Ashley and Giselle is going to look around and look through the windows. The girls are hoping that Karen can just laugh with them when she answered the door. Robin says she just want Karen to be open and honest. She want her just to say, hey, you know what, ladies, my life is a total mess, and it is what it is. But they saying, Karen, of course, is too prideful to even say that. They arrive to the house and they decide to walk up to the door instead of driving up to the door. Robin read the doorbell once. Robin read the doorbell twice. No response. And then it says to be continued. So next week is going to be the season finale. Finally, they had 18 episodes this year. Wow. So next week is going to be the season finale, and I'm sure they're probably going to do, maybe a 1 or 2 parts of the reunion. But yeah, it is coming to an end. And I don't know for those of you, if you haven't watched my Car Talks with Lady Lily, I did mention in one of the videos that Bravo states that actually Housewives of Potomac's ratings are better right now than the Housewives of Atlanta. And they're looking to maybe invest more money in that franchise, and that the Atlanta franchise may be on the way out. They may dissolve it. I guess that really is going to depend on how the season 11 go. They were saying that the Housewives, of Atlanta is costing more money than the money it's bringing in. So the ratings right now are not there. But yet they're paying Nene and Candy like $4 million a piece. And, Sheree's crying that she's not getting enough money. And then Kenya Moore was saying, you want my baby and my husband on the show, but you also trying to cut the money. So it's going to be interesting to see, will, Housewives of Atlanta be the one to get axed, because, they axed DC after one season, which I really didn't think that was fair. I really think they should have gave DC another season. They axed Miami, I think, after 2 seasons, or was it 3 seasons? So, yeah, I really think, they're saying Atlanta might be on the chopping block next, unless season 11 turn around. But, yeah, I really don't think they should have. I really think they should have gave DC another season, just so we can catch the aftermath of that. Mikhail and Tariq crashing the White House. What was their story a year later? Because as you know, I don't know if you keep up with them, they did get a divorce. I think some of them all are, most, that cast is pretty much, I think, is divorced because they got a divorce. Mikhail ended up remarrying. I want to say Stacy and her husband got divorced. I want to say the other young lady, her, and she was with the Chocolate Wonder, Ebon, they end up splitting up. And I want to say the other lady who had the tribe of kids, her and her husband, I think they end up divorcing. So all these couples end up splitting up like years after their airing. So I'm gonna stop blabbing because this video is past 20 minutes past 20 minutes. That is it. That is all. Stay tuned for more videos. Like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned. Peace.